The exact moment hit me like a cold wave in the middle of that all-hands video call. Our screens flickered for half a second. That tiny glitch you dismiss until your stomach drops. I was 2 floors up in compliance at HarperTech Solutions, a mid-sized enterprise software firm headquartered in suburban Chicago. Cameras on. Everyone faking that Monday morning enthusiasm. Carter Wells, our slick new COO fresh from a string of flashy startups, was mid-sentence about streamlining synergies when HR Director Janine cleared her throat over the mic. Effective immediately, she said, her voice flat and scripted, in alignment with our strategic roadmap and upcoming automation initiatives. Nathan Harrow's position is being sunset. The word sunset hung there like a bad joke. No warning. No performance issues mentioned. Just corporate speak for you're gone. I watched the grid of faces. Most stayed blank. Professional masks intact. Carter nodded approvingly, his chiseled jaw and perfect haircut screaming LinkedIn influencer more than operations leader. But Nathan, quiet, unassuming Nathan, the guy who'd been the backbone of our infrastructure for nearly a decade, didn't flinch on camera. He simply stood, lifted his employee badge with both hands like it was something sacred, held it steady toward the lens for everyone to see, then set it gently on his desk. No speech. No protest. He walked out of frame, leaving his laptop open and running, webcam still live, showing the empty ergonomic chair and the soft glow of monitors in his home office setup. The silence afterward wasn't just awkward. It felt tectonic, like the ground shifting under all of us who knew what he really meant to the company. Most execs didn't grasp it. Nathan wasn't some replaceable coder or support tech collecting a salary. He was the architect. Every domain registration, every SSL certificate chain, every third-party API license handshake and failover protocol carried his fingerprints. During the chaotic Zintrex acquisition 2 years back, when Carter swaggered in promising digital transformation and cloud-native velocity, Nathan had quietly kept the ship afloat. He understood the legacy systems no one else bothered to document properly. The ones that kept client data secure, dashboards responsive, and uptime above 99.9% as per our ironclad SLAs. I wasn't on his team. I handled compliance audits, but we'd shared knowing nods in the hallways back when we still had a physical office before full remote. Nathan always arrived early. Black coffee in a plain thermos, poring over logs like they were ancient texts revealing hidden truths. He spotted vulnerabilities others missed, patched them without fanfare. His whiteboard, glimpsed once during a rare in-person sync, had 3 names circled in black marker, his own prominent, 2 others redacted. Beneath them, a date and cryptic alphanumeric string that didn't match any active project ticket. After the call ended, I pulled up our domain registrar portal out of habit. Access denied. Contact details unchanged. Primary admin, Nathan Harrow. I should have flagged it immediately. Asked why a man with root-level privileges walked out without immediate credential revocation. But the machine kept humming. 43 minutes later, the first cracks appeared. HarperTech's public site started returning intermittent 502 errors. Nothing catastrophic yet, but enough to raise eyebrows in engineering Slack channels. Carter spun it as growing pains in the all-company email blast. Embracing evolution means shedding legacy dependencies, he wrote, peppered with buzzwords like elastic scaling and AI-augmented ops. His consultants, sharp-suited kids barely out of their 20s, paraded around virtual meetings dismissing Nathan as outdated. What exactly did he even handle? One asked in a recorded knowledge transfer session, smirking in his Patagonia vest. Nathan's subtle eyelid twitch was visible even through the screen. He answered with a single nod, like placing the final chess piece. That night, patterns I had quietly tracked told the story. Nathan's VPN connected briefly to a hardened node. He verified domain ownership, confirmed recovery emails routed to his private line, then uploaded a remote script to cold storage. Flag set for DNS propagation delay, admin fallback triggers, and what felt like contingency fire protocols. No drama, just methodical preparation. The way a seasoned surgeon readies tools before an operation he prays won't be needed. The company wasn't a well-oiled machine anymore. It was a house of cards built on vibes and slide decks. Carter strutted like he'd fumigated a pest, unaware the foundations were still wired to one man's quiet authority. The next morning's alignment announcement invite dropped like a lead weight calendar block. No agenda. Whispers in Slack speculated layoffs. But no one guessed Nathan. He had been foundational. The guy who coded critical recovery paths during his own honeymoon years ago. The call opened with only Carter and Janine on camera. Janine read the script, voice cracking slightly from nerves or guilt. Nathan Harrow's role has been sunset. Muted claps. Chat messages trickled in with generic well wishes. Nathan stood again. Badge presented solemnly. Placed down. And exited frame. Laptop remained live. Logged in. A silent loaded gun pointed at our entire stack. No one purged access. No one demanded handover docs. In Carter's world, old knowledge was obsolete. New hires came with TikTok-ready dashboards and 3-week onboarding. But Harper Tech ran on people like Nathan, those who remembered where the original policies breathed life into code. By leaving that session open and credentials untouched, the stage was set for what came next. The unraveling began subtly, like static on an old radio before the signal dies completely. By late morning, our internal tools started misbehaving. Slack connections dropped randomly. Outlook froze mid-send. The company wiki spun loading icons endlessly. I refreshed my browser. Blamed Wi-Fi at first. Then noticed the pattern across the virtual floor. Engineers in Phoenix and remote devs in Seattle reported the same via backup phone channels. Authentication failures cascading through the toolchain. Marisol, senior DevOps lead, posted in the emergency HUDSA channel. Anyone lose connectivity to cloud verify endpoints. Initial responses were dismissive, latency, third-party hiccup, classic excuses. But minutes stretched, and tone shifted to alarm. A junior tech DM'd me privately. Legal see anything on vendor access clauses? My gut tightened. This wasn't random. It felt deliberate. Cold. Engineered. Marketing chimed in next. Zoom credentials rejected. Domain no longer authorized. That one hit hardest. Zoom tied directly to our SSO, which looped back to the registrar Nathan administered. Then the real blow. Product manager for our flagship client platform called Frantic. 2 major enterprise customers. Healthcare logistics giants with 6-figure annual contracts and strict uptime penalties. Couldn't access dashboards. Servers through unverified origin detected errors. SSL or registrar mismatch. Origin had shifted without warning. I rushed to the legal archives folder. No update logs. Documents frozen in time. By noon, phones rang directly, clients bypassing pleasantries for breach, penalty invocation, immediate escalation. Carter was still at his desk, smirking over transition metrics when I burst in. Licensed servers flagging unverified origin. His grin faded slowly. The realization dawned. The man he'd dismissed wasn't gone. He was underneath everything. Silence fell surgical and thick. No shouts yet. Just wide eyes and frozen postures. Marissa Vale, our sharp compliance officer, unmuted on the lingering all-hands bridge. Question, she said calmly. Who revoked registrar access? 30 seconds of dead air. Carter glanced at the CTO, who sweated bullets mumbling about timeouts. Marissa cut through. This is custodial reclaim. Tracked to root admin override. Not accidental. The room understood. They'd ceremonially cut Nathan loose, but forgotten to strip the crown. Credentials lingered because arrogance blinded them to depth. CTO babbled about backups and failovers. Marissa ignored it. Privately messaging. Nathan, is there a path back? No reply. Glitches deepened. APIs failed validation. Reports errored. Licenses returned null. The system felt ownerless. Investor threads lit up by 12:40. Boutique VCs noticed latency. Our biggest healthcare client called coolly. Why were both primary and redundant systems failing verification? What did that mean contractually? Legal scrambled a crisis huddle without Marissa initially, seeking cover, not solutions. Wiki was down, paper archives untouched since 2019. Soft statement drafted. Intermittent issues being resolved. Marissa refused to co-sign. Carter sent the fluffy update anyway. By 2:15. 3 SLA penalties triggered automatically, procedural. Not personal. But 6-figure hits incoming. Carter sweated visibly. Deodorant failing. Called Nathan. Straight to generic voicemail. Urgent email. No response. 38 miles out. In a quiet roadside diner with cracked vinyl booths and a wall clock ticking unevenly, Nathan sat alone. No laptop visible. Just his phone displaying a live DNS propagation map, red bleeding to orange. Orange to green. Ownership nodes migrating silently. He stirred tea slowly, watching order reassert itself without triumph. Just quiet discipline. Back at Virtual HQ. Panic bureaucratized. Exec assistant escalated to Marissa. Carter says this is compliance territory now. Her reply, you fired the registrar custodian. I audit fallout. Not miracles. Elevator dings brought HR binders of exit protocols repurposed for recovery. Carter's facade cracked between SLA hits and unanswered board pings. Legal confirmed the obvious. Control handed back unintentionally to the man shoved out without revoking his seat. Arrogance inked. In desperation, Carter dialed Raw. The founder, Elliot Harper, now retired in Boca Raton with golden parachute and NDA. Why does he still own the domain? Carter demanded. Voice cracking. Static crackled. Harper's gravel voice. Because I instructed him to protect it before you knew DNS from dirt. We entrusted, not granted casually. You don't replace that loyalty with a Zoom invite and jargon. You earn it. You didn't. Click. Silence. A junior counsel unearthed the physical registrar contract in dusty red folder. Primary contact Nathan Harrow. Custodial rights binding until mutual signed relinquishment requiring general counsel consent. No such transfer occurred. Carter muttered about digital delegation. Paperwork stood firm. Foundations so smooth you forget they exist, until betrayal lights the fuse. The letter arrived unceremoniously. Thin cream envelope. Harper Tech, legal letterhead. Stiff formal tone. We respectfully request your assistance coordinating full credential transition per original registrar agreement. Executed in good faith. Surrender disguised as diplomacy. Nathan read it twice in his modest Chicago area rental. Mug of tea cooling beside. No hidden threats. Pure corporate plea. He opened his old shell interface with practiced ease. Fingers dancing over keys built from years of solitary nights, ensuring resilience. Revenge never motivated him. Legacy did. He typed minimally, disarm protocol. Trust reset. Screens flickered. DNS routes normalized. SSL revalidated. OAuth chains reactivated. Client licenses, verified origin again. Systems breathed once more. No fireworks, just restored heartbeat. At headquarters, Marissa noticed first. She leaned back. arms crossed, closing the incident ticket quietly. Legal memo by evening. Credential integrity restored. Primary custodian disengaged per agreement. Authority re-established. Carter exited by quarter's end. Thank you email. Polite ghosting. Left unresolved mess, no title fixed. Nathan never returned. No fanfare. But the internal wiki, revived, gained a subtle footer plaque on systems architecture page. Root admin entity, N. Harrow. 2014 to 2023. Legacy maintained. Unannounced. Uncredited by him. Seen by all. Carter hosted meetings. Nathan had owned the code. The narrator, me, still reflects. In our rush for shiny optimizations, we undervalued the quiet stewards holding invisible threads. Nathan's silence wasn't weakness. It was a mirror to our hubris. What happens when loyalty meets disposability? The outage lasted hours. But lessons lingered longer. Clients forgiven penalties after restoration. But trust frayed. Board quietly reinforced access purge protocols post-incident. Yet the plaque remains, a quiet reminder. Nathan's life outside, widowed early, raised a daughter now in college on scholarship he funded anonymously through overtime. He built systems assuming trust finite. The firing shattered that. Not vengeful, but corrective. In the diner, watching propagation, he pondered if reminders sufficed or if deeper change needed. Companies survived. But culture shifted imperceptibly, more documentation mandates, handover checklists. Carter landed elsewhere. LinkedIn glowing with led successful modernization. Privately, whispers followed him. Marissa advanced, citing the episode in ethics trainings. I audit deeper now, sensing cracks earlier. The glitch that started it all? A harbinger. Systems fail when humans forget the humans behind them. The ethical question lingers. When does protection become sabotage? Nathan chose measured response, disruption without destruction, restored without demand. But the power he held exposed fragility of modern enterprise, reliant on individuals dismissed as relics. In America's cutthroat tech scene, loyalty rarely outlives quarterly targets. Years on, similar stories surface anonymously on forums. Admins sunset, access overlooked, outages mysterious. Nathan's case taught caution. Yet arrogance persists. New COOs chase velocity, ignoring roots. The plaque stands as testament. Forget the mapmaker. Lose the map. In quiet moments, I imagine Nathan at home now, perhaps consulting independently, enjoying unlogged evenings. No bitterness in his posture that day in the diner, just resolution. The company learned expensively what trust truly costs when revoked casually. The seismic silence after his exit echoed longest, questioning how many invisible Nathans sustain our digital worlds unseen until removed. Expanding backward for depth, Nathan's early days at HarperTech. Joined post-college in 2014, fresh from Midwest State University, during company's scrappy startup phase under founder Elliot Harper. Small team, long hours. Nathan volunteered for infrastructure because someone has to make sure it doesn't collapse at 3 a.m., built registrar setup himself during off hours. Incorporating personal safeguards against single points of failure, ironic now. Flashbacks during outage, colleagues recalling Nathan mentoring juniors patiently. Explaining DNS chains over coffee without condescension. One story, during 2018 cyber incident attempt, Nathan's custom scripts isolated breach in minutes, preventing data loss. No bonus. Just quiet good job from Harper before retirement. Carter's arrival contrasted sharply. Hired for fresh perspective, he pushed aggressive cloud migrations, ignoring compatibility. Nathan flagged risks in memos. Archived methodically. Ignored. His whiteboard notes? Risk assessments for post-acquisition vulnerabilities. Redacted names likely consultants Carter favored. Psychological angle. Nathan's stoicism rooted in childhood. Father. Factory engineer. Emphasized quiet competence over showmanship. Fix it right. Don't announce. Firing triggered deep sense of betrayal. But response measured by principle. Demonstrate consequence without malice. During peak panic. Specific client interactions amplified drama. Healthcare client rep. This violates HIPAA-aligned uptime. We're escalating to counsel. Pharma client threatened immediate contract termination. Finance team calculated projected losses, $450,000 in penalties plus reputational damage. Internal dynamics. Junior devs panicked privately, fearing job security if root cause traced to mismanagement. CTO drafted resignation letter mentally. Marissa's scalpel-like questioning became legend in compliance circles. Founder Harper's call details. He reminisced briefly about hiring Nathan personally after seeing his GitHub contributions. That kid understood stewardship. Hung up, leaving Carter isolated. Legal discovery scene expanded. Junior counsel's hands shook, flipping pages. Room of suits shifted uncomfortably, realizing no digital trail because original was analog safeguard Nathan insisted on. Nathan's home life during crisis. Daughter called from campus. Sensing father's tension via short texts. Everything okay? He replied minimally. Work hiccup. Love you. Maintain normalcy. Walked dog. Prepared simple dinner. While monitoring propagation ethically. Resolution nuances. Upon restoration. Nathan added no backdoors. Purely disarmed. No demands for reinstatement or payout. Pure closure. Aftermath ripple. Industry conference panels later referenced anonymous case of overlooked access leading to near catastrophe. Harper Tech stock dipped briefly. Recovered on PR spin about robust recovery protocols. Broader societal reflection. An American tech culture obsessed with disruption and youth. Institutional knowledge often sacrificed for agility. Nathan embodied old-school reliability. 9 years. No drama. Consistent excellence. Firing exposed systemic flaw. Rapid exec turnover ignores continuity. Humor threads lightly. Slack memes post-outage about sunset becoming company's swear word. Don't get sunset code for beware hubris. Psychological impact on staff. Trust eroded temporarily. Surveys showed dip in employee engagement. Training added knowledge retention modules. Nathan's quiet victory, not power grab, but affirmation of value. Plaque became unofficial symbol. New hires asked about the hero legend. Ethical close. Does Nathan bear responsibility for outage duration? Legally, no. Agreement allowed reclaim. Morally, he minimized harm. Restored promptly upon request. Question remains. When companies treat people as disposable, who holds the real power? Company evolved modestly. Mandatory exit access audits. Dual sign-off on critical custodians. Carter's successor emphasized humility in all hands. Narrator's personal arc, promoted partly for early sensing. Now advocates for balanced modernization respecting roots. Final scene imagined. Nathan at daughter's graduation. Proud but understated. Phone buzzes. Old colleague thanks indirectly. He smiles faintly. Legacy endures not in titles, but impact. The outage, though brief, left indelible mark, reminder that behind every seamless dashboard lies human dedication easily overlooked until absent. In our fast-paced world, pausing to value stewards prevents self-inflicted collapses. Nathan's story whispers, true strength lies in silent competence, and betrayal's cost reveals itself inevitably. What would you do holding the keys? The question haunts every org chart.